This is Mohammedina PERAEDEN RASMASKONEN, aka Ryan Tomlinson, coming tonight. Tonight, very short simulcast, no makeup Monday. I call it my plain J day. What a day of revelation after your weekend. What did it yield to you, darling? Couple things that yielded to me. Had a fantastic weekend as much as I could afford it, irregardless of all the other people, insecurities and anxieties and so forth, which I do not live in. Couple developments today, and I follow them very well, things I've been saying all along. A quotation today. I made this quotation on something that I was saying all along. We were always worried about who was using chemical weapons in Syria and what was the end result of all these things. Well, we know Turkey and the allies themselves and the rebels, and how do such simple people get such complex weapons? Darling, then we know that the poor little Kurds have been suffering at the hands of the Turks. And how do Al-Saud and the Israelites play in this very complex story, darling? But the Israelites are prepared to defeat whatever for their security. If I wanted to be secure in myself and secure in my environment, it would be best for me to live at peace with my neighbors, not to live in constant fear, not to live in the fear of being evil and stand and smile in the face. Such is, I would never call Israel evil, but such has been their intelligent operation. One in which that Turkey, the shadow of guilt, is masked by Turkey and their labeling of chemical and weapons used on the Kurds, and Iraq has bear the brunt of it, which is still not in a recovery process yet, and other countries in the Middle East. So we have to sit back and think, what is it that we are fighting for? When is it that we have relapsed into such confusion as to who is doing what and where is what and what are these rebels? Knowing that, in my opinion, the immigration project that Barack Obama so well endorses is the transition of other nationals to Korea and South Korea, in which they are given different identities and passport, and they go and they fight these wars in the Middle East as Iraqis, as rebels and so forth. Most of them, this has been going on a whole more than 20 years now. This is part of their intelligence operation, and so the South Koreans are not exactly innocent in all of this. Very guilty people in peace, very demure and sublime people of guilt. You will have to be in the area to see what it is and to experience it. It's a quite unique situation. They play a major role in the destabilization of other countries. No, I applaud Assad for doing one thing. Half of the refugees placed on those borders are fighters from the Colombia guerrillas. I said this was an unjust war. I said that the guerrillas had unfair weapons, and it didn't start in the civility or the civil citizenry of Syria, but it's an outside. This is Hillary Clinton's baby to change Assad. She wanted Assad to set down. She wanted Benghazi. She wanted a lot of things. And I wonder, when do we stop thinking about freedom and intelligence and negotiation and peace to using our muscle to get what we want and to set the world up as we want? I would never come into your house and ask you to rearrange your furniture on the basis of this new style of South Korea or North Korea or wherever it is, or European. How could I do that? How could I infringe on your property, your rights, your religion, and say this is the way that I want you to be? It's absurd, deliberate and belligerent and criminal to our constitution and so forth. It's no wonder that Barack Obama is stuck in this confusion, and I see his step. This man is as the catharsis or the advent of the liberator, the liberty, the freedom of this Lincoln-esque presidency that we were all waiting for. This union, this liberating ourselves from the slavery of war set on by the previous administration. Instead, he has continued it, but it showed the lack of intelligence, the lack of military intelligence, the lack of the inner workings of the CIA, and just the total cronyism of the whole thing. It's a disaster, America. Disaster, disaster, and disaster. And we have to say, when is it that we're going to be free from these terrorists? When are we going to do that? It doesn't matter. And here we go now. On that little news today on BBC, it says, I had a quotation today: greet the days in its affairs, the fear of knowing, cast it on the floor. The fear of knowing, cast it on the floor. Others react, pick up and keep the doors closed. The fear of knowing. Some people do not live in the fear of knowing. They want to know, to fix, to transform, to include. Other people know to keep these doors closed because they have their hidden agenda, and what we are fed sometimes is not what it should be. On that, darling, there is much deeper connotation to that quotation. But this was the sum total of my meditation this weekend. I wonder, I advocate for America, I advocate for our freedoms, but where we are going is a dangerous place, a dangerous, dark place. And we wonder, how is it finally going to come to materialize in itself? Darling, I just want my freedom for this evil little military than the evil that they did to me. And that would be good enough for me. Part of it is east of feelings, west on encounters, southern sumptuous or somber things. The north arise above all things. What is your north tonight? Where is your east? Where are your feelings? What are your encounters? Are your encounters newer and greater and better than everybody else? The east, the Middle East, the east, west, we are the west, sumptuous and somber. And where is our north, darling? America, where is our north? Citizens of the world, where is our north? We are looking at ourselves as reliquaries. Are we of the past? Immaterial of the things that are, and devoid of the things that make us human being, that makes us think. I don't understand the brains of some of these lawmakers, and then again, I don't have their intelligence. And if I did, then maybe Benghazi would not have happened, and maybe we would be telling the Kurds to stop using those chemical weapons. Not the Kurds, I'm sorry, the Turks. And then maybe in all of that, we wouldn't be taking people from South America, the guerrillas, transplanting them in South Korea to go fight and destabilize country because we want Israel to feel safe. Israel must defend itself. It must learn how to live in peace. It has not done so in its neighbors. It came to a place where people were living peacefully. Granted, they had an uneasy forge of a nation, but it is time to try something different. And oh my God, I will not be indifferent to it. Your opinion and your life must always be sometimes above the things of everybody else. It's okay to fit in. It's okay to want to fit in. I have done that myself, and where has it gotten me? Almost killed, fratricide in South Korea itself, and their indignation of what I should and should not be. And therefore we will not go back into that. But I use a small little example of my life to show the greater example of thinking and what a stinking hole or a sinkhole we may be. Let's wake up to the greater things, the north of our life, the better than ourselves, the way we want to live and the way we should be. Have a good night. This is Meza Grand Duchess Rasmaskonen, aka Ryan Tomlinson, signing off today. Good night.